Thank you.
Today is iPhone Day, Friday, September 24th, 2021, and in my hands I have the two brand new iPhone models. I have the iPhone 13 Pro Max in Sierra Blue, and I have the regular 13 in the blue, and I'm coming to you today right from Apple Park, where these phones were invented, and I'm going to give you my first impressions and unboxing of these phones right here at Apple Park. Alright, let's start with the 13. Anybody who saw the keynote, they know that there's no more plastic on the outside, so it just opens up with these two little stickers. I gotta say, that is a very beautiful color. Honestly guys, I actually like this color better than the 13 Pro color because it reminds me of my 12 Pro Max, which I'm shooting this video on. And right away when I pick it up, it feels very good. It's light, feels solid. You can tell it doesn't have the same premium feeling as the Pro Max models do. Well, let's open it up and find out how everything looks here. Maiden voyage, turn it on. One thing I noticed right away is this speaker on the top is in a little bit different spot. And they did say that it comes with eSIMs this time, but they do have the actual physical slot for the SIM card, so I'm gonna wonder how that works. We'll talk about that maybe later in the video or a different video. Going through the setup process. Alright, my first impression, guys. I actually like the form factor of this phone. It kind of reminds me of the iPhone 10 that I used for 4 years until I got the 12 Pro Max. So I do like that. The one thing I noticed right off the bat that I'm not sure if this is just perception or if this is really happening, because if you notice, I'm in the hot sun here. I'm in California, sun shining right down. This phone's getting hot. The phone I'm using to film this is getting hot. And I'm pretty sure I noticed the display dimming right away. And this was one of my pet peeves for the 12 Pro Max that I was really hoping they were gonna fix. But after watching the keynote, I noticed that they did not mention this at all. There were rumors of some kind of thermal cooling system coming to these phones to try to avoid this problem, but I'm pretty sure this hasn't been fixed. I'm not sure. I haven't been using it long enough yet to tell, but I will let you know later on in a future video. Definitely the first impression is it feels very fast and very fluid. I just did a quick setup with the standard apps on here. I didn't set it up under like my regular account, you know, putting all my apps on there and things like that, since I bought it just for the video right now to do some initial setup and impressions. You see, I do have the display on full brightness here, but even though I think it's not showing me the full brightness. So I think that's the first issue that I'm noticing with this phone. Also quick to point out, the same thing came in the box as last year. You have a USB-C to lightning cable, and you have the little instruction book with the SIM card removal tool inside, and that's about it. You don't get a full charger anymore. There's no headphones, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And just opening up all of the apps here for the first time, everything feels very snappy, you know, no delays whatsoever, so that's good to see. Now this is new. I'm just opening up the camera app for the first time, and the first thing that you see here is swipe to choose a photographic style preset. Personalize the look directly in camera. So I guess it's going to take whatever setting you give here and use that as like your standard mode every time you go to take a picture. So I'm going to stick with standard because it's kind of hard to see this outside and everything. So, and of course you have just the regular lens and the wide angle lens. No zoom on this one. Video comes standard at HD 30, which is kind of stupid because everything's in 4K nowadays. Come on, guys. And there's that famous cinematic mode, which is one of the reasons I wanted to get this phone actually. Okay, so overall first impression, it feels very light and solid, very good phone. Seems like it's gonna be fun to play with and mess around with some more. Now let's move on to the 13 Pro Max. Let's check out the Big Daddy. Same thing, just got the pull tabs. Obviously the box is significantly larger than the 13 model. Oof, check that out. You know, I really didn't care for the 12 Pro Max when I first got it, for anybody who saw some of those videos when I first got that phone. But now that I've had it for a while, it definitely feels good to have this size phone back in my hand, especially after just grabbing the 13. because it just feels right for me now. And of course, the same thing as the other one, all the iPhones is standard with this now, guys. No charger in the box, just the cable and the SIM card remover. And they do have the slot here for the real SIM card, and while that beauty is brand new, just check out how nice and shiny those edges are. It's beautiful before I scratch it all up, because I know I will. I don't use cases. I have the iPhone 13 Pro Max set up here. First impression, I hate the display. It's the same problem as the 12 Pro Max, okay? Look how dim it is. Can you even see the screen? I've only had it out here in the sun for a few minutes and it's already too hot to even display the full brightness. And that's a huge disappointment considering the fact that these phones have the highest brightness level on these screens versus any other iPhone in the past, but that does diddly squat when the phone gets too hot and you cannot see anything. You're like squinting out here because it's super bright outside, it's hot, and you can't see anything on the screen. So that is super annoying. Very bad first impression on that. I was really hoping they were gonna fix that, but I have to tell you, I'm not happy with that. One thing I do notice though right away, which is going to be hard for you to see since the display is so dim, is that faster refresh rate. It's very noticeable right from the get-go. You know, all of the scrolling that you're doing, you can notice it's much faster and more fluid than before. Very obvious difference. I also have to say I do like the color more than I thought I would, just now that it's in my hands. You know, when you look at it on the website, it doesn't look as beautiful as it does when you hold it in your hands, and the sides are almost like chrome, so that looks pretty cool, even though it has a little slight blue tint to it, so that's nice. One other thing, the smaller notch, yeah, it's a smaller notch, but honestly, I feel like who cares? You know, anybody that was really bothered by the larger notch before, I don't get it. Why would you even have an iPhone? Buy a phone that doesn't have a notch, because having the smaller notch here doesn't seem to improve my quality of life whatsoever. It looks like some of the brightness is coming back. I don't know, maybe it's coming back a little bit faster than my 12 Pro Max. Like, I'm shooting this video right now on the 12 Pro Max, and the display on there is already so dark you can't even see what's being filmed. But I did notice here, after just giving this a little bit of a break, that some of this brightness did come back, and you notice I do have it on full brightness. So these are my first impressions, guys. I might be back later in the video with a few more first impressions, things that I notice when I get back to the house. Otherwise, check out my next iPhone video on the screen right over here, and I'll see you guys over there.